First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
In studio right now, we'd like to say in 2 vaccinated guests here this morning. We have in studio from Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, of course, Ed Schmidt. Ed, good morning.
Good morning.
And pull that mic really nice. I haven't said this in a long time. Pull that mic really close to you there. And also the Oneida County District Attorney, Scott McNamara, as well.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Okay, so we're talking about, I'm going to let you start with this, Ed, and explain the program that we're going to start next week.
Well, actually, this program is similar to some programs across the country with Crime Stoppers USA. We're the local affiliation, Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. And basically what it is we're going to highlight an individual weekly that area law enforcement is looking for. We're going to call it the Wanted Person of the Week. In other markets, some of the really big programs, the local news stations will, what they call it, the Wanted wheel.
I've seen they even put it on a wheel, right? And they spin the wheel around. Yeah.
And then, one night a week or 2 nights a week, and it lands on a person that local law enforcement is looking for, and they highlight that person, and it's very effective. So, in collaboration with the Keeler Show, WIBX, we're going to start a program called the Wanted Person of the Week here locally on Thursday mornings.
I like it.
So on the wanted wheel that you were talking about, if it lands on the person, what do they get, like a misdemeanor dropped if they win for that night? Or
I don't know if you call it they won.
It's more of a spotlight.
You don't want it to land on you.
The person on either side, the way the wheel's set up.
You're right.
You're actually getting a 3 for 1 when it lands on
That is true.
That's true.
So what are give me Scott? Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some examples of people who are wanted out there right now, and why they are wanted by authorities.
Sure.
In general.
We have people that are wanted for murder. So obviously those are people that we're always looking for. And, and then we have people that are wanted for not showing up to court where there's a bench warrant issued and they haven't shown up for multiple charges. So it kind of runs the whole gamut. And what we're seeing now, unfortunately, is a lot more people having warrants out for them because of the bail reform. Because what happened was, that there's no bail. So when they don't come to court, and then eventually there's a warrant put out for their arrest. And if you remember, there's been a couple of cases that have made some significant media involving, there was one person, he was burning cars up. And, every time he'd get arrested, he'd get released because it's a non-bailable offense. And I think he ended up with 6 or 8 cars that he burned up. And so that's a case where eventually a warrant gets issued, not in his case, but that's the kind of case where eventually we'll be able to get a warrant because they did finally change the law a little bit to help us out on those type of things. So, but I know Utica's looking for somebody that's wanted on murder. A lot of times we're looking for people that are wanted on shots fired. And I think it's a great program, and it's a way for the community, and I think you would agree with this, Ed, that it's a way for the community to help law enforcement. And I've always said the DA's office and the police can't do it all. We need the help from the community, whether it's witnesses or to tell us, because a lot of times people know where the person are, and now there's a way for them to report it, and I think it's a good program.
No, absolutely. I mean, the old acronym, see it, say it.
Right.
Was encouraging people to call it. What's nice about Crime Stoppers is they can do this in a completely anonymous way,
right?
With a cash reward incentive if it does lead to an arrest,
right?
So no, it's a very effective program. It's a national program,
and I think that by doing it this way, it's putting a spotlight on this one particular case. And let's not forget, because there's going to be somebody that's going to say, "Well, you're making light of somebody that's wanted by police." Well, they're wanted. There's a victim out there, or several victims out there, that need to be the ones that we keep in our minds, I think.
Well, this attorney and I talked. I mean, basically, this is a wanted poster that we're doing on the radio.
Yes.
It's today's modern day wanted poster. Yeah. And I agree with you, Bill. What you just said is very important. I think sometimes it gets lost in all this reform push that's out there. We want to change everything, and which always makes me laugh because I remember when I was young, my father used to say, "Scott, if it's not broke, don't fix it."
Right.
And this is just, a way that we can address a problem that I think we're going to see more and more.
Yeah.
But it is a modern day wanted poster.
Yeah, Monaski.
When you talk about the cash rewards that are given to people who provide information, this is beyond because sometimes when there's a real big case, you'll say $10,000 reward, right? And it's splashed all over the place. Even on a shooting in a neighborhood where there's not some big reward, if somebody provides information, there is an opportunity for them to get a reward. Is that right? Or is it only on the high profile, there's a $10,000 cash reward?
Well, the DA's office doesn't do any rewards with Crime Stoppers. The DA's office does have a reward program through the police department for guns. If somebody turns in, gives information, and we're able to seize an unlawfully possessed handgun, we have a reward program for that, and we do that through the GIVE program through the state. Crime Stoppers is different. There's not a reward on every case, but on some cases, especially like I've known a couple murder cases, you guys have come out and put out a reward, but we don't do that. Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers is separate from the DA's office. I think that's an important thing to make everybody understand.
And it's a community organization, right?
Correct. We are a 501c3, nonprofit, all volunteer. We maintain a fund, as Scott said, completely separate from any government agency, which would be in addition to, say, a public reward or something maybe, as Scott just mentioned. But and again, this is all through donations from the community, tax-deductible donations,
right.
I might add, if anyone would like to donate.
That's great.
All you got to do is search Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers.
So there's an app you could use.
It's called a P3 app. Again, you go to the App Store, or depending what type of device you have, if you type in Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, it's going to take you to the app. Download the app, and then it's an easy walk through. Click. It's going to ask you what area you're in of the state, the specific town location, and it's very simple. And again, 100% anonymous.
And so for a tip that would lead to the arrest of someone who maybe is going to be charged with murder versus someone who is cheating on a welfare check or something, the reward is. It depends on the severity of the crime, right?
There's a scale.
There's a scale that we follow.
Yes, and our organization is comprised completely of volunteers, and that board meets on a regular basis to review the tip submissions. Now, we have law enforcement agency partners throughout the Mohawk Valley, and those partners bring the different scenarios to us, different cases to us, and then we can look at that scale, and then the board decides on the monetary amount.
And I'm on this Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers board, and we don't find out who the people are. It's completely when we say it's anonymous, it is
completely anonymous.
It's an anonymous tip.
The person that submits a tip, they're assigned a unique code, a unique number, and once that award has been determined, then we set up again the way that the money is delivered. There's no names, just a specific number.
Yep.
So say if somebody calls, you have a phone number, somebody calls, should they expect, they've never done this before, I've never done this before, should they expect to talk like a person answers the phone and you get directed, or is it all automated?
If you call the 800 number, you actually do speak to a person. Overwhelmingly, the tips are received through the app.
Okay.
But you can also do it through the app. You can do it on Facebook. There's several different mediums. And again, you just search the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, and these options are going to be presented to you.
Gotcha.
What's it? I just want to a couple minutes left. Throw out a couple of questions.
I have a couple too. Yeah,
for the DA. What has it been? What has it been like being the district attorney in a pandemic And by the way, during a time when we're changing all the laws, there's no bail anymore. This has got to have been quite the interesting year. You could probably write a book.
I could. I guess I would. I've never ridden in a rocket, but I can imagine it's the same thing. It's just one thing after another, and the bail and the discovery reform were a nightmare. And just as we're trying to get our feet underneath us on that, then the pandemic hit. And, with the county shutting down, everything shutting down, at one point, my office, we have 47 employees, normally 44 in the office. And we were down to 4. And everybody had to work from home and no trials.
Or work the vaccination center.
Yeah, exactly. and we had no trial, so everything's backed up. Like right now there's a murder trial going on that should have been tried over a year ago. So we're in from the prosecution standpoint, you always want to try the cases as soon as possible because witnesses' memories fade, witnesses disappear, move on, and so we're really way behind. We had to learn a whole new way of putting evidence in because you can't, you don't hand it back and forth like you used to. So it's been a challenge, but I got to say, I'm very proud of my office. They rose to the occasion. I don't know exactly, but at one point we were one of the counties in the state leading the number of trials that we've had. I think this is the 9th trial since we opened back up, and a lot of the other counties throughout the state, are at 1 or 2.
Okay.
So we've been very lucky to be able to get these trials going.
Right. You're using the same ghostwriter as Governor Cuomo did, right? It's be the District Attorney's Guide to Navigating the Pandemic. Is that it?
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.